Hi students, good morning and welcome to English class. So we were discussing the lesson Day in the Country, and we saw that a cobbler named Terenty was very affectionate to two children, Fiokla and her brother Danilka. And this Danilka met with an accident, and Fiokla came to Terenty to help her brother. And Terenty was ready to help them, so even though it was raining heavily, he rushed to the spot and saved Danilka from that accident. And what was the accident? Danilka tried to take the eggs of a bird from the nest, and his hands got stuck there. At that time, Danilka's sister Fiokla went to Terenty. Terenty came there and saved the boy. Up to that we have completed. So we'll come to the last part of it. It's terrible how it's thundering, the boy says again, rubbing his hand. What makes it thunder, Terenty? So we saw that in the case of this boy, even though his hands were paining, he was not thinking of that. He was thinking of the rain, the thunder, lightning and all these things. So as we mentioned in the beginning, these children, they were living attached to nature, or they loved nature and they were enjoying this nature and living there. Then one cloud runs against the other, answers the cobbler. What's the name of the cobbler? Okay, Terenty. The party come out of the copse and walk along the edge of it towards the darkened rock. The party, who are there? Okay, Terenty, Fiokla and Danilka. So copse we have seen an area where trees grow together. The thunder gradually abates and its rumbling is heard far away beyond the village. So you know that while it was raining or before the rain there was heavy thunder. Now the thunder also reduced and a little sound was heard, as a rumbling sound was heard from a distant place. The ducks flew by here the other day, Terenty, says Danilka, still rubbing his hand. So that again shows that he was observing nature very closely. The previous day he happened to see ducks flying there. Fiokla, would you like me to show you a nightingale's nest? So all these sentences or all these things are mentioned here to show that even though they were small children, they knew everything related to nature. They loved nature and they were ready to spend their time in nature. Don't touch it, you might disturb them, says Terenty, wringing the water out of his cap. Wringing, excuse me. The nightingale is a singing bird. He has had a voice given him in his throat to gladden the heart of man. Gladden means to make someone happy. So he was talking about nightingale. Nightingale is a bird that can sing very melodiously. It's a sin to disturb him, disturb the bird, disturb nature. So we should observe nature without causing any disturbance to them. That's what Terenty says, and this also is here to show that he knew the details of all the birds, all the animals, and he also was observing nature very closely. A bright patch of blue appears in the sky. What does it show? Before that there was no patch of blue. We know that everything was darkened because of this rain clouds, and now after the rain everything was going to be clear. And here are some bees, cries Danilka, pointing to the branch of a young oak tree. The drenched and chilled bees are huddled together on the brine. Brunt means also wet. Chilled means cold, because of cold. And huddled together, that means sitting close together on the brine. There are so many of them that neither bark nor leaf can be seen. Many of them are settled on one another. So again, that shows they were observing nature. That's a swarm of bees, Terendy informs them. Swarm. So we know that for the group of bees, the term used is swarm. Swarm of bees refers to the group of bees. They were flying looking for a home, and when the rain came down upon them, they settled. If a swarm is flying, you need only sprinkle water on them to make them settle. So, the case of bees, if you sprinkle water, they will settle somewhere. And here, as it started raining, the swarm of bees sitting there in the branch of a tree. Now, if say you wanted to take the swarm, you would bend the branch with them into a sack and shake it, and they all fall. So they all were huddled together. And in the case of Terendy and the children, they were observing everything. They were observing the birds, the bees, and everything in nature. Little Fiocla suddenly frowns and rubs her neck vigorously. So she frowns, she folds her forehead and rubs her neck vigorously. Vigorously means very strongly. Her brother looks at her neck and sees a big swelling on it. What might have happened? She might have been stung by a bee. Hey, hey, laughed the cobbler. Do you know where you got that from, Fiocla, old girl? There are Spanish flies on some tree in the wood, some big sort of flies. The rain has trickled off them and a drop has fallen on your neck. That's what has made the swelling. The sun appears from behind the clouds and floods the wood, the fields, and the tree fronts with its warm light. That means again it became bright. So we know that it was morning time, 9 o'clock, but due to the rain clouds, everything was dark. But after the rain, everything became bright and clear. The dark, menacing cloud has gone far away and taken the storm with it. Menacing means something that causes fear. The air is warm and fragrant. Fragrant means having a nice smell. That herb is given when your nose bleeds, says Terendy, pointing to a woolly looking flower. It's good, it does good. So he was showing the children a herb that has a medicinal value, especially the herb that is used when nose bleeds. They crossed the railway line and going down from the embankment, walked towards the river. So we know that these three were walking and now they came near a river, then the river bank. They walked not with any object but just at random and talked all the way. Danilka asked questions, Terendy answers them. What's the meaning of they walked not with any object? That means they hadn't any special object or subject to talk. They talked, that's why it is mentioned, just at random. They talked on different subjects. So, and whatever they were talking, I think they were mainly talking about nature or the things that they saw in nature. And Danilka, as he was a small boy, he had a number of questions to answer, and Terendy answers them. That shows that Terendy knew everything that Danilka asked. Terendy answers all his questions, and there is no secret in nature which baffles him, that which confuses him or troubles him. That means everything in nature is known to Terendy. He knows everything. Thus, for example, he knows the names of all the wild flowers, animals and stones. He knows what herbs cure diseases. He has no difficulty in telling the age of a horse or a cow. So everything related to nature, Terendy knew well. Looking at the sunset, at the moon or the birds, he can tell what sort of weather it will be next day. And indeed, it is not only Terendy who is so wise. Silently, the innkeeper, the market gardener, the shepherd, and all the villagers, generally speaking, know as much as he does. So I think That sentence gives us a very clear idea about the villages. Taranti, in a sense, we can say, is a representative of them. So the attitude of the villages, what was their attitude? All the villagers loved nature, they protected nature, and they knew everything in nature. These people have learned not from books, but in the fields, in the wood, on the river bank. Their teachers have been the birds themselves. When they sang to them, the sun, when it left a glow of crimson behind it at setting, the very trees and wild herbs. So, all the people of the village knew all the things related to nature, like Taranti. That shows that these people were living in harmony with nature. The two of them, the cobbler and the boy, walk about the fields, talk unceasingly and are not weary. Unceasingly means without any stop. That means continuously. Not weary, they were not tired. These two, they were talking every time, but they were not tired. They could wander about the world endlessly. That means they won't feel tired. They walk and in their talk of the beauty of the earth do not notice the frail little girl tripping after them. So we know that they were the little Fiokla. She was the youngest because we know that she was young of 6 years. And actually these two, while they were talking about nature, they forgot the girl. Even though she was tripping, they didn't notice it. Towards midday, all three sit down on the river bank. Danilka takes out of his bag a piece of bread soaked and reduced to a mash, and they begin to eat. So we know that in the case of bread, if it is wet and soaked, actually it cannot be used. But that was the only thing they had with them, so they were eating it. Taranti says a prayer when he has eaten the bread, then stretches himself on the sandy bank and falls asleep. Even though it was not a good piece of bread, as it was wet, Taranti thanked God for what he had got, the food that he had got. While he is asleep, the boy gazes at the water, pondering. That means thinking of, again the boy was thinking of nature. He has many different things to think of. He has just seen the storm, the beast act. That means this boy was interested in nature, and he had to ask, he wanted to ask a number of questions, or he wanted to get answer to a number of questions. Only towards the evening, our wanderers return to the village. Wanderers, who are the wanderers? Taranti, Danilka and Fiokla. The children go for the night to a deserted barn. Deserted means where nobody is living, a lonely barn. Barn is a place, a store where we, where we store grains, etc. The boy does not sleep. He gazes into the darkness, and seems to him that he is seeing all that he has seen in the day: the storm clouds, the bright sunshine, the birds, the fish, Langi, Taranti. So about Danilka, it is mentioned he was thinking of all the things that he had seen, or he was thinking of all the things that happened that day. Again, that is to show that the boy or these children were always thinking of nature. He longs to tell someone all that is haunting him now, but there is no one to tell. Fiokla is too little and could not understand. I will tell Taranti tomorrow, thinks the boy. The children fall asleep, thinking of the harmless cobbler, and in the night, Taranti comes to them and puts bread under their heads. So again, one more detail about cobbler, harmless cobbler. In the beginning, we saw that he was a serious-looking person, and also his appearance mentioned. He hadn't a decent appearance. He was wearing a woman's tattered jacket. So altogether, he he looks like a very poor person. But while we think of his greatness, we have to assume, we have to admit that he was really a great person, because he was living such a such a life close to nature, and he had a loving heart. He was ready to help others, especially children, and He knew the condition of the children, that they hadn't enough food. That's why he went outside and bought bread for them. But he didn't want to announce that he had done all these helps. So what did he do? He put bread under their heads, and no one sees his love. Everybody thought that he was a serious looking person, but actually he was a very loving person. It is seen only by the moon which floats in the sky and peeps caressingly through the holes in the wall of the deserted land. That means he was doing everything sincerely, not to show that he was a very loving and hardworking person to others. He was doing all these things secretly. But we know that in the case of some of the people, if they do something, they really wish that everybody should understand and appreciate it. But in the case of Tarandi, he was not such a person. He was really a loving person. He was a person who loved nature very much. He was a person who was ready to help others, but nobody understood the greatness of this older Tarandi. So that's the story of Then the Country. So it's a simple one, but make sure that you read it many times, and also complete the side questions. Next day I will send you the notes. And I think last class I told you that everybody should write down the notes. And even though I am sending you a number of activities and meanings and everything, there is no need of writing everything. Write only what you do not know and the questions that you feel important. But make sure that all of you complete notes. So next week we will check your notebooks, and that time your notebook should be complete. Okay, thank you. We will stop for today.